Hello, and welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley. For this class, and in fact, 4 consecutive classes at this particular time slot here on verbling.com, we are going to be examining reduced speech in English. Today, for example, we're going to focus on contractions, a reduced form of speech which even most second language learners are familiar with. Words like can't, don't, I'm, will, I'd. These contracted forms are reduced pronunciation forms that they're there because it helps us to with our rhythm and intonation. And in fact, the whole idea of joining words together by joining the ending and beginning sounds together is prevalent throughout all conversational English. In fact, using absolutely perfectly formed every single word English would sound a little strange to native speakers. It doesn't have the natural rhythm and flow that we expect. And basically it sounds quite formal. So for the next few days here in this class at this hour, we'll be looking at different aspects, and you, the students, will be practicing speaking. Reduced forms. We'll start with today fairly simple contractions, and we'll look at some common liaisons. That is, again, joining 2 words together and what it sounds like. Sometimes it changes the sound of the individual last letter of a word and first letter of a word when we combine them. We'll be looking at that today. We'll look at reduced forms of different types of words throughout the week, prepositions, auxiliaries. We'll talk about all those things. We'll get more complicated as we go along through the week. Today's quite basic. Okay, let me actually have quite a lot of material to cover, so let me say hello to the students, do a little microphone check, and we'll get started. Hello, Salvatore. Oh, good to see you.
Good to see you again. Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon for you.
Good whatever. Yeah, all right. Great. Nice to see you as well. I hope you had a nice Christmas holiday.
No holiday, but it was nice Christmas, teacher.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Well, holiday, of course, for British people, British speakers, holiday is a vacation. For Americans, a holiday is like Christmas, New Year's Eve, 4th of July, Halloween. Those are all holidays. For us, a vacation is a vacation. It's different.
Okay.
Different.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let me also say hello to Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, yeah.
Great. Glad to hear it. Okay, plenty of room in the class. If other Verbling students, other viewers would like to join us, jump on in the class anytime, really. Get some good practice speaking with reduced speech. Now, before we even start, I just want to say this is a matter of opinion, all right? And other teachers, other textbooks, other people might disagree with me. So, as a matter of opinion, sometimes some teachers will call it lazy English when we use reduction in our pronunciation while speaking. I personally really don't care for that description or that nomer, that what I think is a misnomer, a wrong name. reduced speech is not used because the speaker is lazy, in my opinion. It is actually used to enhance our intonation and rhythm and actually make it easier for the listener to understand. One other point before we get started with this whole series. Second language speakers sometimes feel unnatural using reduced speech forms. It sounds wrong to them because it's not the dictionary pronunciation which they learned in school or from textbooks or what have you. Understandable, but the more that you practice using these forms and the more you use them, the more natural they begin to sound, and also you start to realize that they help you join words and keep your rhythm much more natural sounding as well, which is the whole point. All right, enough of the intro. We're going to begin with contractions, which pretty much everyone is probably familiar with. I'm going to do a screen share and we'll look at some. Okay. All right. All right. As it says, another important aspect of accent reduction is actually using proper rhythm and intonation, and that's what reduced speech facilitates. Okay. Another important note: Americans, well, and really Brits too, we do not use contractions when we're writing formally. However, when we're writing casually to our friends, family, or when we're speaking conversationally, we always, okay, let me just make that bold. We always shorten our sentences with the use of contractions. We do. If you watch a speech by President Obama addressing the UN or giving his State of the Union, if you listen carefully, you will hear contractions, even though obviously these are examples of extremely formal occasions. Doesn't matter. We just automatically use them. Excuse me. When we do not use contractions, it sounds more formal and it sounds stilted, kind of off on jumpy as far as the rhythm and intonation. It sounds strange to native speakers when contractions are not used. Okay, what is a contraction? All right, it is formed by combining two words, usually a pronoun, often, maybe not usually, often a pronoun and an auxiliary, or the first auxiliary or helper verb of a verb tense. Some others are formed like can't, are formed by with the negative adverb not in combination with other words or often other modals. All right, these two words are combined into one, and we use an apostrophe to substitute for the letter or letters that have been omitted. We're going to try out this following list of contractions. I'm going to have you guys pronounce the two different ones and then form a sentence, speak a sentence using the contractions. One more note about what is a contraction. You will sometimes, there are standard contractions, which we're primarily looking at, but you'll see contracted forms in other places too. Like, for example, you might run across this at some point in your English studies, salt and pepper. All right, obviously the N with the apostrophe is substituted for and, full form and, salt and pepper, salt and pepper. So you occasionally see other things written in a contracted form, but there are some pretty standard contractions which we're going to be addressing first of all. So let's get into it. Salvatore, first one. Go ahead and read them, and then I'd like you to form a sentence using the contracted form.
I will.
Good. Excellent. In
I,
fact,
I, I have to say a sentence, teacher.
What's that? Yeah, just a sentence with I'll.
Okay. Uh, I'll sorry, one moment. I'll go there for a minute.
Okay, I'll go there probably, well, no, for a minute. That's fine. You'll be there for 1 minute. Okay, that's fine. And good job with pronunciation of I'll. What you're doing there, see, is you're joining. And when we talk in the latter half of the class, we're going to look at liaisons. Those are combining two sounds together. And because you have the I, which is obviously a vowel, and then the ill part, basically this contraction is getting rid of the W, the consonant, and it's pronounced as you did, I'll. We're joining the sounds together with what's called a glide. You did a great job. We'll talk about it more later. Rebecca, next one.
Okay. I am.
Mm-hmm.
So one sentence would be, I'm taking an English lesson on Berlin right now.
Okay. All right. I'm. Okay. I'm. Very good. Perfect. Okay. Next one. Salvatore.
Cannot speak English correctly, unfortunately.
I can't speak English correctly. All right. Important subnote here. All right. These contracted negative forms, can't, won't, don't, or other modals, mustn't, shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't. Another important note about speaking, when you're speaking a negative contraction, you definitely should be speaking with a higher pitch than you would with the positive. For example, the positive can, fully pronounced can, all right? But in reality, it's going to sound like can, very, very short with a middle kind of schwa sound. I can do it. I can do it. I can't do it. Notice how much higher pitch I use with can't. If for some reason you feel obligated to use cannot, notice how I actually say it. Cannot, cannot. I actually rise on the not. So negatives basically require us to use a slightly higher pitch. Can't is especially important because can't sounds so very similar to can. So the pitch change is probably the most dramatic in this specific case. I can't swim. I can swim. Notice how short the positive is. Okay, this is the next one is the weird one because we actually changed the vowel. Rebecca?
Won't, will not. I won't go to the party.
All right, very good. Why do we change the vowel to an O?
I think it's a combination. Instead of will, is the vowel is coming from not.
Oh, well, okay, maybe. Also, consider this idea. How hard would it be to say this? I won't. It's really hard to say. Never mind. Forget it. Also, it's not very practical. That's pretty simple. Okay. Salvatore. Next one.
Isn't is not. Italian isn't hard language.
Okay. Italian isn't a. There's many languages, so Italian isn't a hard language.
A
And
hard language.
of course, you have to be careful, Salvatore, about having isn't a hard language. Be careful about adding that extra vowel sound at the ends of words, because that doesn't exist in English. Okay. I know that's very, very difficult. You have to concentrate, but okay. Rebecca, next one.
She'll, she will.
Very good. Yes. The sentence.
Okay, let me try. She'll have finished by day of the day. By
Okay.
the end of the day.
By the end of the day. Okay. Now the pronunciation is very fast. So in cases where we have contracted forms, all right, where we have a long vowel sound like E, as in she, not only do we reduce out the W, we're getting rid of the W in will, but also the long vowel sounds becomes a short vowel sound. So she'll do it. She'll do it. Yeah.
She'll do it.
All right. This is another element or component of reduced English. When we reduce a sound, we reduce long vowels to short vowels a lot faster. Not only are they long E, but they're very fast when we shorten them. She'll do it. Similar thing with the next one here, Salvatore.
He will. He'll buy new car tomorrow.
Okay. And again, shorten the vowel.
Ac-
He'll buy a new car.
He'll buy a new car.
Yeah, okay, that was much better. And you lost your ending vowels on that one. Good. He'll buy a new car. It really does. I don't know what it does, but using contracted form, using reduced speech really does help eliminate a lot of accent. It really works. Okay, Rebecca?
He is.
All right. In this case, we don't really reduce the E, so you're absolutely right. He's.
Yeah. Yeah, he is one of the best my friends.
All right. Of course, he is could also, we have to be careful because this could be a different contraction. You know what?
Sorry, say again, please.
This could be he's here.
His.
Could in fact be he is, or it could be something else.
I don't understand what you're asking me.
Okay.
His.
It could be he has.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to be careful. The only solution to know which one it is just in context.
Yeah, we know that by with the following word.
That's right. So he's got a cold. Because we use got a cold, he has got a cold. He's got a cold.
Followed by past participle is he has.
That's right. That's right. He's worked really hard on that. He has worked really hard on that. That's exactly it. Okay. A few more we can look at here. Salvatore.
Wasn't, was not. She wasn't at school yesterday.
Okay. She wasn't at school yesterday. Perfect. Your wasn't was perfect. Okay, Rebecca, next.
Weren't, were not. They weren't so happy when they saw them.
Okay. You're still pronouncing were rent as if it were two syllables. It's more like one syllable. They weren't too happy.
Weren't. without the second E. Weren't.
That's right. They weren't.
Weren't. Okay, weren't.
Yeah.
Just I on N. Weren't.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
whole idea is reducing long vowel sounds and reducing syllables. You're dropping syllables. You know, word not is very clearly 2 syllables. So that's one of the reasons, or part of the reason you're doing reductions, is to eliminate syllables. Okay. Next one, Salvatore.
Shouldn't, should not. This house shouldn't be so dirty.
Okay. Very good. And shouldn't, you did a very good job, but sometimes it's reduced even farther, and it might sound like shouldn't. More like shouldn't. I shouldn't have told you that. So this one can be even more reduced. Again, shouldn't sounds like 2 syllables. When I reduce it a little more, shouldn't. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. All right, last one here, Rebecca.
Wouldn't. Would not. I wouldn't be able to finish on time if you are on my way.
Okay. And again, shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't, they're almost like 1 syllable. Well, they're pretty much like 1 syllable. So it can even get reduced a little further. I wouldn't do that if I were you. For example.
One question. These
Yeah.
contractions are okay always on writing?
No. Again, no. We do not use contractions when writing formally, such as an academic paper or any business paper. You should not use contractions. You should use full form.
Never ever. Okay.
Never ever.
Then,
I mean, if
okay.
you're writing a text message on your phone or writing to somebody, your sister, on Skype, who cares? You can,
It's okay.
you know, you can use emoticons. You can use do whatever crazy things you want, abbreviations, contractions, whatever you want, of course. Right, but not like business speaking or business, not speaking, business writing, definitely not. You will notice through this whole list of things, I want to, before we continue, there's a couple things I want to say about these contractions. You will notice that all of these, what do we got? Pronoun, auxiliary verb, pronoun, auxiliary verb. We've got some modals. And we've got not. All right. What are we really looking at? In English, there are basically, the concept is this. I just want to basically, why, another reason we're doing this and how it helps the listener. There are 2 types of words in English. You can break English into all of English into 2 types of words. And they are content words, like words that have specific meanings, blue, sock, cup, nouns, verbs, run, adverbs and adjectives. All right, these are content words. And then the other type of words are called function words. These are the grammar words. The auxiliary verbs you have to learn to figure out how to create different verb tenses, like have and has, and had for perfect tenses, like will for future tense, like the verb, using the verb to be for continuous tenses. Auxiliaries, all the grammar words, prepositions, contractions, pronouns, all the words that are involved with learning grammar. In English, part of actually the most basic part of creating rhythm is you always fully pronounce the content words, always. And if you're good, if you speak naturally, you always reduce the function words. not only reduce them, but very closely join them with surrounding words. If you think about it, that's quite logical. If someone's speaking, we say the content words just like the stressed syllables in one word. The content words in a sentence, you can actually hear where I keep raising my voice. I had to correct there. But my pitch goes up on all the content words, and I say them fully pronounced, and I use full pronunciation, and I use a higher pitch, maybe even say them louder, so that you can pick out the content words. And the function words are just the joining. Blah, 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 blah. They come very fast. This is why English has a kind of faster, 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 slow, slow, faster, 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 slow, fast, slow, fast, 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 slow kind of rhythm. The speed is not even, because as we run into content words, we slow down our speech. Where we have a whole bunch of function words, for example, modals, or maybe a modal with a pronoun with some auxiliaries for a verb tense, we speak very fast and reduce them as much as possible. That's why English has the rhythm that it has. This is one thing I often have to speak to students about in delivery, and that is when you have two or three or four content words in a row. A very common mistake is students try to continue at the same fast pace they have been speaking, but you really shouldn't. You need to slow down if you're using, a bunch of content words in a row. The big black dog. Okay, those are simple words. Big black dog, but it's adjective, adjective, noun. I slow down. I don't say big black dog. I don't say it really fast. Nor should I. When we have very complicated words, the spindly-legged, euphoric orchestra member, I'm going to slow down for that kind of groupings of words. Very natural. All the reduction we're talking about now and for the next week, it's all about the function words and getting them out of the way to keep our rhythm. All right, let's try just a few sentences that include a bunch of contractions. I'll listen carefully if you guys sound naturally. Salvatore, go ahead, first one here.
I'll call you if she isn't able to do it.
Okay, very good. I'll call you. And we'll get more into this as the week continues. Even this pronoun might be reduced. I'll call you. I'll call you instead of you. I'll call you.
I'll call you.
All right. All right, very good. Rebecca, next one.
Wouldn't it be better if you arrived at an earlier time?
All right.
Wouldn't it?
Yep. Or again, wouldn't it be better?
Wouldn't
it be better?
Wouldn't it better? Wouldn't it better? Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be better?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Be better? Would it be
yeah,
better?
you're going wouldn't it very carefully. Actually, Salvatore, I just lied to you a little bit. I said it's very normal. Well, that part was true. It's very normal to reduce you to ya. But actually, in this case, where it's followed by an I, or any vowel for that matter, it would be actually correct. You were right. I was wrong. It would be correct to use full pronunciation. I'll call you with. That way, I can join the W kind of you, with the I and if. With. You with. I'll call you with.
Okay.
So sometimes we don't reduce. We don't automatically reduce if it's easier, if it actually helps our rhythm to not reduce. by keeping the W and not reducing, it actually helps me to join it with the next word. I'll call you if. So, okay, you had it right. I stand corrected. Salvatore, next one.
Okay. He's very friendly now, but he wasn't always this nice.
Great. Good job. All right. Rebecca, next.
I want to be able to stay late today.
Great. Perfect. All right. Salvatore, last one.
He'll choose from this selection, choose from those.
Okay. He'll choose from this selection, but she'll choose from those. Again, short vowel. Sounds like hill, like the word H-I-L-L. He'll choose, but she'll choose.
He'll choose. He'll choose. Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, all right. We don't need to look at all that. Okay, even contractions can have more reduced, even further reduction. We talked about this a little, and this will lead us right into our next section of today's class, which is looking at liaisons. Okay, I already mentioned we're like heel becomes hill, heel becomes, we reduce vowel sounds or syllables. You can hear this in contractions that have two vowel sounds, which are usually separated with a glide. A glide, well, we're going to look at this in a second, but when we are trying to connect two vowels in English, we don't have glottal stops in English. For example, in Tagalog, Philippines language, you have lots of words that have like, spelled like M-A-A-L-A-A-K, ma'alaka, la'ak. So you have to that's a glottal stop. You have to stop. It's not one long sound. This does not actually exist in English at all. We don't have those. Glottal stops between vowels, they don't exist. So what we do have are glides, either a Y or a W sound. You really don't have to, this is nothing you have to learn. It's extremely natural. It's instinctual. You'll do it without even thinking about it. It's an automatic thing here. For example, will becomes I'll. The reduced pronunciation, we can reduce this. We already looked at I'll near the beginning of class, but I can reduce this even more, and it's going to sound like all. That's it. I'll do it. Instead of I'll do it, I'll do it. Especially in a short sentence like my example. I'll do it. What does that accomplish? Obviously, it eliminates a syllable. They-er, okay. They-er, the contracted form of they are, gets reduced even more to there. Okay. A native speaker saying they are there would sound like they're there. You couldn't tell the difference between there and there. They're there. Except listen to my intonation. They're there. They're there. Do you notice my intonation, my pitch change? That's what gives it away that I'm not just repeating the same word. Okay. Okay, well, that has everything in the world to do with what we're going to look at next, which are liaisons. Liaisons are concerned with the idea of joining words together. So, in English, we definitely are always looking to join, excuse me, to join function words with the surrounding words as closely and seamlessly as we can. Okay. The easiest way to do this is the alternating consonant and vowel by alternating consonant and vowel sounds. I just mentioned we can't pronounce two vowel sounds in a row in English. It's just simply not done. So the rhythm of English is really what I mentioned about function and content words, and we're going to make those function words faster and spoken more quickly by using joining or using liaisons. Liaisons, things that go together. And to the point where, well, let's try these examples when we see it written kind of phonetically. All right, well, let's give this a chance. Give this a try. Rebecca, can you go ahead and read this short sentence?
Yes, my name is Anne. My name is Anne.
Okay, very good. Now, notice in the phonetic illustration here, my name, me, Zan. Notice that the last sound is getting combined with the first sound. If you slow down, and this is very interesting, if you have a program where you can slow down a transcript, slow down speaking, they're very handy for English learning, by the way, and teaching. So if you can actually slow down somebody speaking, you can, in English, this is actually what it sounds like when you slow it way down. My name is Zan. Okay, that was my slow motion voice. Sorry if that was weird, but that's actually how it ends up sounding. It doesn't really sound like the words. It sounds like the last sound, me, first, and then the last sound in is, and the next. That's how it sounds and how it kind of gets joined. All right. Salvatore, you want to try this next one? Whoops.
Sure. American accent.
Not bad.
American accent.
Ah, there you go. All right, starting with the N. American accent. American accent. This little apostrophe indicates a slight pause, and basically there's a American. There's a tiniest little schwa sound in there. American accent. You almost can't hear it. Okay. Alternating consonants and vowels, and that's basically when we're creating the contractions, that's exactly what we're doing. We're alternating, we're eliminating actually some sounds to create more consonant vowel combinations, because that's the easiest way to keep rhythm. We also use liaisons in spelling and numbers. Yes, certainly we do. All right. For example, Rebecca, next one here.
LA.
L.A.
LA.
L.A. Where do you live? L.A.
LA.
Yeah.
It's LA.
Yeah. So the same thing. There's kind of a vowel sound L, pronouncing the letter L. L.A. There's a couple of famous songs where it's very, very clear that that's how it's pronounced. L.A. I live in L.A. All right. Even in numbers, we're doing the same thing. Salvatore, you want to give this a try? Of course, the 0 for English speakers is usually pronounced as O.
Okay. 909 5068. 909 5468.
Sounds pretty good. All right. Yeah. That's amazing. You don't have my ears, but when I listen to you and you're doing it, when you guys are pronouncing the phonetic version, it sounds really, really like good. Sounds right. 909-5068. Okay.
Really, I have teacher for this.
I know. For you, it sounds like you're doing something weird that takes
Yes,
a
yes,
lot of effort. I
you're
know.
right.
Yes, I realize that. But for me, listening, I'm like, wow, that sounds great. He's never sounded better.
So, it's weird.
I know it's weird, but you have to trust me on that. I'm not making that up. I'm not just saying that. It always surprises me too. Every single time. I've taught this stuff so many times, but every time I have students walking through it phonetically, I'm like, wow, that sounds good. Okay. I already mentioned it, vowel and vowel. I'm going to skip consonant and consonant and come back to it because that's the most complicated liaison or joining that we can do. Vowel and vowel is very easy, very simple. You're going to use a glide, which I've already mentioned. A glide is either a W or a Y sound, both within one word. It can be inside of one word when we're trying to put two vowel sounds together inside of one word. For example, the word society. So, yet, okay. You notice there's a kind of a Y sound between the I and the E in the word society. Society. That's a glide. There's a Y sound in there. So we kind of do it automatically, even within a word or within a phrase. For example, again, Rebecca, first one here.
Go away.
Go away. All right, very clear W sound. It's automatic. It's really easy to do this. It's not like you have to think about it at all. This is the easiest kind of joining, really. Your body seems to physically do it without even thinking. All right, a longer sentence here, Salvatore.
Okay. I also need the other one. I'm not sure.
I also need the other one.
Okay.
All right.
I also need the other one.
All right. Everyone knows about the articles A and N. A and A-N. A book. All right. When it's followed by a consonant, it's just the letter A. Pronounced more like not like A, but a book. When we have a plural, when it's followed by a vowel sound, then we use an umbrella, and umbrella, numbrella, and umbrella. All right, it's very obvious. The only reason they function exactly the same way. So the only possible reason to have these two different articles, A and N, is because of rhythm and pronunciation. What some people do not understand is we do the same thing with the, as in this example, the book, the other one, the umbrella, the umbrella, umbrella, the umbrella. All right, we're using a glide, a Y sound. So we pronounce the differently, just the same as we pronounce A and N differently. We do the same thing. Okay, again, all right, the glide comes just very naturally. If a word ends in an O, your lips automatically start to form the W sound. It's really automatic. Okay. Okay, let's look at some other common liaisons that you're going to hear and their basic principles of some reductions that we'll be looking at the rest of the week. All right. When a letter or sound of T or D or S or Z is followed by any word that starts with Y, or starts with a Y sound, like university. Does not actually start with the letter Y, but it does start with a Y sound. The sounds are connected and kind of pronounced differently. All right, it doesn't matter if the Y is actually present in the spelling. That's besides the point. It's the Y sound. All right, so this combination changes the pronunciation. So, for example, when we combine a T and a Y, T at the end of a word, and a Y at the beginning of the next word, it sounds like CH. It sounds just like the CH sound in chocolate. Okay, Rebecca, first one here.
What's your name?
What's your name? All right. All right. Well, that has an S too. All right. What you doing? All right. Don't you know? Don't ya? Okay. Salvatore, next one.
Can't you do it? Can't
All right.
you do it?
Can't you do it? And here, what we were talking about earlier with the U, now here we're trying to combine it with the D. So I don't agree with my material. This should be can't ya. Can't you do it?
Okay, can't you do it? Okay.
Isn't that easier? Can't you do it? Why can't you do it? All right. Very fast, right? Boom. Okay, very good. Rebecca?
Sorry, teacher.
Yeah, go ahead.
Excuse me, teacher. Could you repeat the sound in the first sentence? Can't you do it when there is consonant after the vowel U? The sound.
Which one? Can't
you do it? Yes.
Can't you do it? Can't you do it?
Yes.
Okay.
What
are you asking me? Is that it? Did I answer your question?
Yes, the sound can't you do it, teacher?
Can't you?
Because
sounds weird for me to say can't you do it. It sounds very slow. It's very awkward. My lips and tongue sort of object. I have to force my lips to actually say full pronunciation. Can't you do it? Ooh, it feels weird. Makes my eyes water. It just does not feel right at all. Very uncomfortable. Surprisingly uncomfortable, Salvatore.
Okay.
Pulling my underwear over my head or something. Can't you do it? Oh, feels much better. Whew, what a relief. Rebecca, next one.
Okay. Don't you like it?
Okay, very good. And I agree with you. L is a consonant, so you did this without me prompting you. Good. Don't you like it? Yeah. Good. That was excellent. Last one. All right. Inside a word. Salvatore?
Actually.
Okay. For emphasis, there's often like a really strong K sound here. Actually. Well, actually. So sometimes if it's in the middle of he actually wasn't very funny. The comedian actually wasn't very funny. It's quite reduced. But often when we use it in the beginning of a sentence, as as kind of a connective, it sounds more like actually. Well, actually. Even a pause there. Well, actually. But it still sounds, you still hear that CH sound, which is because of the T, which is followed by the usually. It's followed because there's kind of a Y sound there. Actually. The actual facts are. All right. This is very strong, very constant. We do this all the time. Notice how frequently we see you and your following a T sound. Well, yeah, of course, that's natural, but it actually happens with others too. What university did you go to? Which? Well, that's which. It's already CH. Okay. So it doesn't. What unit? What unit are we on in the book? What unit are we on in the book? It just sort of automatically happens. For native speakers, anyway. Another one is the very, very common D, ending D, and then a Y, beginning Y sound. It sounds like J. This, for me, actually sounds more like a little bit more like not a pure J sound, but more like a J. A little bit of a D melting into a J. All right. Well, this is going to be fun. Rebecca, first one.
What you do?
What'd you do? What'd you do?
G is like E. What you do?
Yeah.
Okay. What you do?
What'd you do?
What you do?
Well, there's another aspect. There's another thing going on here too, and that is we're combining the first D and did with the T and what to form one sound. We're not repeating, or we're not even pronouncing the T at all. We're pronouncing it as a D, and we're basically eliminating the I completely in did, which is actually fairly common. So really, we're combining all of this, the T and did, into one D sound. And then combining it with a Y, it becomes a J sound. So all those 5 letters get reduced to a J sound. What'd you do? Yeah. That TD thing, that's called a fast D or sometimes flap D. This is, okay, British people would hate me for saying this, but this is how American accent is superior, is better than British English. Why? Because we can do this. We can reduce and improve our rhythm because we can join T's and D's together. What did you do? I would have to say, if I was a Brit, I couldn't make this reduction, really. Americans do this fast D or flap D whenever we can. Whenever we have a T which is separated with vowel sounds on either side. So water becomes water. Water. The water is dirty. 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 E. The T is surrounded by, well, okay, vowel sounds or what do you call vowel R sounds? I can't remember what they're called, but same thing. Dirty. Dirty becomes dirty. So you'll hear a little bit more reduction by Americans because it's easier for us because of that reduced T. All right, Salvatore. Try this one.
Would you help me? Would you help me?
Would you help me? Yeah. Good. See, that sounds that sounds great. Okay, Rebecca.
Graduation.
Oh, you're doing that one. Okay. Inside of a word, graduation.
Graduation. Graduation.
Because it's a U. Graduation.
Graduation. Graduation.
Yeah.
Graduation.
All right, so that same kind of liaison happens inside of a word. All right. Basically, that's both the. It's really two things going on there. There's kind of a D sound, and then graduation. All right. Then we have the we have the J, which is representing the D, and then we have a glide. So there's two things going on in that word. Okay, the one above it, Salvatore.
Do you like it? Do you like it?
Well, did, past tense, not do, but did.
Did you like it?
All right, yeah. Did ya? Did ya?
Did you like it?
Yeah. And so there are many, many chances to hear this liaison in English because it's very, very common. Could ya? Would ya? Did ya? Very common combinations of T and then Y, D and then Y. These are very common. A lot less common, the last couple here. S and Y, let's just try it. This is more common in words than it is in hearing it. Than in phrases. Rebecca?
Insurance.
Yeah, well, it's very simple, right? Okay. Salvatore?
Sugar.
Sugar. That's it. Okay. You guys, yeah, yogurt. There's a Y sound. Okay, in a sentence, all right, let's see if I can figure out a sentence you might hear that in. I just did, now I forgot. Okay. Fix. Fix ends with an S sound. I know it's an X, but it sounds like KS. Fix your collar. Okay? It's not as pronounced an SH sound as in sugar or wash. Okay, which is obviously you're hearing an SH sound. Fix your collar. Fix your collar. You do hear a very quick, fast sh sound in there with the end of the X and the Y. Fix your collar. All right, so you do hear this liaison sounding like SH. It's very fast and a lot more subtle. The D plus Y and T plus Y, they are not subtle. They are very clear to hear. The last one here is also extremely, well, it's more subtle. Let's try it out. Rebecca. By the way, this is not really a Z sound. It's more like the J sound in television.
How's her family?
How's your?
How's your
It's like the ja.
How's your family?
That's it. How's your?
How's your?
Yeah, and you can still kind of hear the Y a little bit. How's your? You pull back your tongue and you hear the Y sound too. How's your family?
How's your?
It's just really fast. All right. Salvatore, last one here.
Who's your friend? Who's your friend?
Who's your friend?
Who's your friend?
Who's your friend? Yeah. All right. Very good. Now we've only got like 2 minutes left, which does not really allow us to do justice to talking about consonants and consonants. It's a lot more complicated. It's easy to join unvoiced sounds together because they're unvoiced, which is why when we're pronouncing like past tense ED, when we have an unvoiced sound like wash, our ED becomes washed because there they are right together. It's easier to continue an unvoiced sound. Walk becomes walked in the past tense. Why? Because they're both unvoiced. That's why that happens. Same thing happens when pronouncing S's. Grammatical S's at the end of the words. The same exact thing happens. Bird, birds. It sounds like a Z. Why? Because, well, they're right next to each other. it's easy to continue the same sound. All right, so really don't have time to get into all the possibilities here, but we can try a couple quick examples. Rebecca, first one.
I just did. Yeah, I just didn't get. I just didn't get the chance. I just didn't get the chance.
Get the chance. Get the chance. Get
Just
the.
didn't get
Get
the
the.
chance.
Yeah,
Get the chance.
T and the TH sound coming together, which often happens in English. Right, because T is unvoiced and the TH, get the. We just sort of continue the sound. All right, Salvatore, want to try the last one here?
I've been late twice. I've been late twice.
All right. Notice when we have an ending sound, T sound here, and a beginning sound, T sound here, we only pronounce it once. We don't say late twice. We say late twice. One time.
Late twice.
Yeah,
Late
you
twice.
did it.
Okay.
You automatically did that, and it was perfect. Okay, that's all I have time for today. Tomorrow, same time, we're going to be looking at some specifics. I think tomorrow we're looking at prepositions and conjunctions, mostly. Lots of practice. So I hope you can join me. Bye for now. Thanks a lot. Salvatore.
See you.